Hey, today we're just going to talk about something not so serious at all, yet has an absolutely serious life lesson. So we're going to talk about those wonderful holiday movies that I absolutely love, yet they are uber predictable, have one of 4 plot lines, and have the perfect ending. It's everything, that you see on Hallmark and Up TV and Lifetime. So, 'tis the season, hence we're in my living room right now. I thought it would be perfect setting to talk about a holiday movie next to my Christmas tree and my warm fireplace. So what is that life lesson? Well, I'm not going to tell you yet. We're going to talk about a few different movies so I can give you some examples, because you might just figure it out from what I tell you. But before we get to that, I want to know if you're in my boat with these movies, that you watch them. You might watch the same ones repeatedly. You love them. They're feel good. You know it's all the same plot. You don't really care. Yet, your spouse, in my case, or brother, also in my case, makes fun of you. If that's what's going on, let me know in the comments. Tell me who's poking fun at you for the fact that you watch these movies that you always know what's going to happen, that the plot line doesn't change. Let me know who it is in the comments below. And if you just don't feel like typing that much, but you want to let me know you're in the same boat, go ahead and throw a snowflake in the comments, because again, it's the season for that kind of thing, and I love snowflakes. And I don't know if you can see my earring, but it is a snowflake, and so it's one of my favorite things. So go ahead and throw that in the comments. But we're gonna just quickly go over a couple of different movies. So the magic of editing. I suddenly have notes. I wanted to have notes with me so that I could be sure that I'm making the statements that should convey to you the message of the life lesson. Okay. So the first movie is from this year. It's Never Kiss a Man in a Christmas Sweater. And if you've seen this movie, great, I'm not ruining anything for you. If you haven't seen this movie, still not ruining anything for you, because you know what's going to happen. So there are 2 main characters, a single mom and an architect from the city who's in town for the holidays. They're building a friendship because they are working together on this nonprofit service type thing that they're doing, and they're really beginning to enjoy one another's company and starting to like one another. However, they're not relaying to one another the way they feel about each other. Additionally, she overhears a conversation at a party that he's having with his college buddy, that he's already booked his ticket back to the city. Next movie is Marry Me at Christmas. A super successful advertising person has to go home for the holidays. She doesn't want to go because, she's worked and has this great career, but is disappointing her family because she's not married and doesn't have children, and she knows that she just sees disappointment in the eyes of her mother. Her colleague agrees to come with her, sort of a colleague, it's somebody she hired, and he comes with her, and the family has some misunderstanding during their initial meeting, and suddenly everybody believes they're engaged, and things are really misconstrued, and they don't clear up those things. They kind of just go along with it. What she's unaware of is that her coworker is plotting behind her back, and so he's lying to her. And then she has this childhood friend who's constantly in the picture. It was really a family friend, so not just hers directly, but He's always kind of poked fun at her. She feels as though he hates her because he's always picked at her. Then there is our third movie, and this one's going back probably more than 10 years, and it's called Moonlight and Mistletoe, or Mistletoe and Moonlight. The relationship I want you to see is between a father and a daughter. And so she's a workaholic, hasn't been home in forever. He gets hurt and she has to come home. However, he doesn't really let her know the full story. He's not that hurt. But she comes home and finds some unpaid bills in the house and learns that things are not going well. The family business is kind of going down the drain, and he has not said a word to her. He didn't want to burden her, didn't want to pull her away from her work, didn't want to stress her out, so he didn't really tell her, and he kind of has been floating it himself out of savings. And her mom had passed away, and so there are relationship issues there because no one ever talked about or dealt with their emotions after her mom passed. So, okay, I'm gonna stop there. Have you figured it out yet? What this one key lesson is? Okay, so if you have figured it out, let me know in the comments below that you figured it out before I told you what the life lesson was, what this key important thing is. You ready? Communication. It is super important to have effective communication in life. Sure, in these movies, we don't want them to have great communication because there would be no movie without it, right? The lack of communication, miscommunication, those things create the drama and allow the movie to move forward. But do you really want that drama in your life? I don't. When we look at the end of the movie, we can see why there's a perfect happy ending. They're clearing things up. There's no longer a lack of communication. There's no longer lies going around or misunderstanding. They're willing to talk to one another. And suddenly, things are working out. No, life is not perfect. But effective, clear communication will certainly make things work better. You know, we talk about communication when it comes to business and to work, and all of those same tools can be used in our personal lives. And so I hope that you take this not so serious thing and see the serious message that it's important to have those uncomfortable conversations, to flesh out misunderstanding, to let people know your feelings and your thoughts when it's safe to do so, but not when your emotions are running high. That's not wise. And if it's helpful, do things like you would do in business, such as make a list of bullet points to get your point across, or things that you want to touch upon and talk about when you have a conversation. You, at work, make sure that there's nothing distracting you when you're having conversations that are important. Do the same in your personal life. Don't have the TV on. And if you have kids, maybe wait until they go to bed, or it's nap time, or somebody's watching them. Whatever you do, it's work. I'm not gonna lie. It's uncomfortable a lot of the time. But it's so worth it to have good, clean, clear communication. It will save the drama in your life for the Hallmark movies.